Joining us now is Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut, who serves on the Armed Services Committee. Senator, good to see you. How are you looking at this proposal? Is it a clear breakthrough in this war? And what do you think Russia will do with it?
I think it's a very positive and encouraging development, and it does put the onus on Russia. I think Putin is going to try to stall, and only Donald Trump putting pressure on Putin directly will persuade him to agree to this ceasefire. Putin thinks he can outlast us. He thinks that Trump may again suspend military and intelligence aid. One of the most encouraging parts of this ceasefire agreement between the United States and Ukraine is that we're going to resume military and intelligence aid. There's $3.8 billion worth of essential munitions, artillery, defense equipment sitting partly on the Polish border, ready to go to Ukraine, essential to Ukraine's ongoing and, in fact, more and more successful effort to push back Russia, whose economy is on the rocks. Putin is going to be feeling the results as well.
So I think a lot of people might look at this skeptically, because if there is a 30-day pause in the fighting, as we were just discussing with Peter, that's still a long ways from lasting peace. How confident are you that lasting peace could come from this, and it wouldn't just, a 30-day pause end up being a chance for Russia to reset its military?
Well, Peter Baker makes an excellent point. I'm a strong supporter, one of the strongest in the Senate. I've been to Ukraine 6 times. I've met with Volodymyr Zelensky probably 15 in Paris, Munich, as well as in Kyiv. And I think the Ukrainians are going to continue to fight. When I first met with them, after they had pushed back the Russians, he said to me, we'll fight with pitchfork if we need to. And they are so zealous because they are defending the independence and freedom of their own country. And what they're doing is vital to our national security. So in the long run, we have an important security interest for the NATO countries, for our own national defense, in providing this military aid and strengthening Ukraine's position as it goes into negotiations, which inevitably will happen. So I think long term, this ceasefire could be a very positive development, but I think a lot has to happen for success to be realized at the negotiating table. And the principal obstacle to peace is Vladimir Putin, who thinks of himself as the emperor, the restorer of the Soviet Empire or the great Russian Empire, and only Donald Trump standing up to him can stop Vladimir Putin.
Do you think Donald Trump will stand up to him? Do you think this administration will get tough with Russia? Does the U.S. have leverage?
I think my Republican colleagues here in the United States Senate have an obligation to abandon their silence, which in some respects amounts to complicity in Donald Trump's past encouragement and support for Putin. Only if there is pressure on Donald Trump will he resist the apparent allure of his bro, Vladimir Putin, and his allegiance to strongmen around the world is destroying, in effect, the rule of law and the world order in a very historic way, and not a good way for the United States' long-term interests. So will he stand up to Vladimir Putin? Helsinki and the experience there, more recently the Oval Office blow-up, and his subsequent remarks supporting Putin indicate the answer is no. But in the long term, our national interest requires him to stand up to Putin, side with Zelensky and Ukraine and the brave freedom fighters who continue their struggle, and they will continue this fight. Count on it.
Senator, I want to pivot to the potential government shutdown that is quickly approaching. Yesterday, House Republicans passed a bill to avert a shutdown Friday. That spending bill's now in the Senate, needs Democratic votes to pass because it has that 60-vote threshold. Will you vote for it?
I'm leaning no, because this continuing resolution kicks the can down the road without a budget for 6 months, ceding critical authority, in fact, creating a slush fund for Donald Trump and enabling him to slash research in NIH on Alzheimer's and cancer, VA benefits, in the PAC Act and other health care a variety of essential programs, including possibly Medicaid and Social Security. That kind of abandoning of authority by the United States Congress is abhorrent to me. At the same time, shutting down the government is horrific and will cause a great deal of pain to people. So I'm going to be talking to my colleagues over the course of today, listening to others all around the country about what is best for the nation right now.